Hello, I'm going to try not to cough my guts out while we're chatting today. We'll see how that goes. I have been having a bit of a break. I say that as though I wasn't smoking last night. I was smoking last night, but I was trying to have a break because of various issues, obviously. Yeah, good luck with that. I know. I'm terrible. I'm terrible. I'm going to put the invite link in the Discord as well for anyone who wants to join. I have been I'm still feeling queasy. I'm not going to lie. I'm still not feeling great. Where are we? Events. Live again. I know I'm late and I've been unwell. I'm so sorry. But I'm back. There we go. Thank you all for joining us today. And I wanted to have a little quick chat about the budget and about our budget. What happened last night in the budget. But I actually don't really feel like I've got a lot of energy to discuss that. That was my plan. And now that I'm here, I'm like, can I be asked? Can I be fucking asked? Hello. Welcome. Like, share, subscribe, do all the things I'm supposed to ask you to do. Guys, you know what they are. You know better than me what they are. I keep forgetting them and I keep forgetting to ask you to do them when I'm supposed to. It's terrible. But yeah, obviously I want to raise some money for this family as well, which is, that's right, I'm on the wrong page. Oh no, hang on, let me change my OBS. That's the one that's got, the donations goal and that on it. Let's do some copying and pasting of some different that I want to copy that for a start. Copy and paste it onto this screen here. So, here we go. I'm shaking right now. I am actually fully shaking. I don't know why. There we go. So now there should be a QR code on the screen which you can scan, and that will help our family too, help our little family. I can see in your TikTok. Talk about the flaming dog shit that is the fidget. I can see in your TikTok. That I'm shaking, you mean? Yeah. Yeah, whoops, sorry. I don't mean to be shaking. Creating a QR code was a great idea. Thank you very much. But I don't know. Not all of the chats are popping up in all of those places again. It's really annoying. Trying to monitor the chat while doing a live has got to be the thing that it's going to constantly be a struggle for me, I think, between having the chats not showing up in various places. Here we go. Flippin' heck. I just want to stop shaking. Do you think I'm doing it it's the stim? It's the stim. Gotta stop the stim. Stop the stim. I'm joking at my own autistic ass expense, obviously. I don't think anybody should be prevented from stimming if they need to stim. That's not at all. I'm not an advocate for that. I'm just talking about my own autistic ass over here. Add in 1 minute. What? We've already been live for 5 minutes and I've not talked about anything yet. What a shock. Unbelievable. Yeah. Now, there were a few of things in the budget that I was really fucking annoyed about. And one of them is, I got a lot of people talking to me about the budget saying that they are putting $6 billion into housing or whatever. Might as well snooze it. There's no one here to enjoy it anyway. But forgot what I was saying then. The budget. I was talking about the budget. Right. And this is what frustrates the shit out of me with these budgets whenever we do it, because first home buyers grants, rent assistance. All of these are ways of basically leapfrogging and getting the money from the government straight into the pockets of landlords and business owners. And snooze for 5 minutes. Oh, 6 million, was it? It was only 6 million. 6 million that they're putting into housing. That's it. Like, we're talking about the lowest income earners in this country. Those who have the lowest amount of income in this country are going to end up with an extra $150 a year toward their rent. These are people whose rent has gone up for $3,000 a year in that same time. They're going to have $150 a year. Oh, I can't remember. I thought that's what you said. No, I thought it was 6. I thought it was a couple billion. I thought it was like they put. I thought they actually put, like, they were putting $6 billion into housing, but it was all going into the developers' pockets. They're going to give money to developers to pay for, like, roads and, like, utility connections and all these other fucking shit. So it's basically they're putting a whole lot of money to tackle housing, and it's going straight into the pockets of developers. And everybody who works in this space can tell you that again, like, there is a massive development just a bit further out of town than me that, you know, they build all of these properties so close together in these tiny little shoeboxes to try and make all these connections and to get all these utilities connected and to get all the services connected to these areas for as cheap as possible, to get as much out of each of that land as they can as possible. And now the government said, keep doing all that, and we're also going to give you a kickback. You know, so the money is going to go to you guys, not to the actual people trying to buy the houses. It's going to go to the developers and the property moguls again. So whatever money that we are going to invest into housing isn't going to be doing anything to tackle the housing crisis. It's going to be going into the pockets of people who are already in control of the housing market to ensure that they can continue to make money from it and continue to profit from it, despite the fact that we can no longer afford to provide them with that profit. It's all townhouse unit blocks in my areas, yeah. And look, I think townhouses and unit blocks in cities isn't a problem. I'm not in a city. Like, I'm talking about a development that's being done half an hour out of a small town, and the blocks are all less than like, the blocks would be lucky to be 400 square meters in size each. Lucky. And again, those size blocks, or even like townhouses and apartments in cities, in developed areas, near university towns, we don't have any of that. We have to send our kids to the city if they want to go to uni. Well, we have to send our kids to another town if they want to do year 11 and 12 in some cases. You know? So to sit there and be like, we're going to build these units for students out here? What? What the fuck? What the actual fuck? No fucking way. No fucking way. Small blocks is a good thing. Again, it depends where they are. No work in these estates. Yeah, and that's the thing too, is I'm out in the middle of fucking nowhere. You do realise the number of developers are going broke. God almighty, you're hilarious. Most of them houses need to be pulled down because they aren't built properly. Yep, there's a lot of that as well. You are an absolute fascination. Why, thank you. Thank you, food. Why is that? Why am I an absolute fascination? Just because I hate everybody? Is that what's so fascinating? Add in 1 minute. I suppose we should let this one go now. Like, we should let it play. Thank you. Thank you so much, Olivia. I appreciate that so much. I really, really do. But no, again, like what I was saying about development, like this is what frustrates me so much about the NIMBYs as well, because when I was campaigning in Nedlands, when I was campaigning in the western suburbs of Perth, and we were trying to get developments and things done there, we were trying to get, we wanted people to get on board with getting some mid-size development happening in the area right next to the university, on the train line heading to Fremantle as well. Just the perfect spot for it. And there's all these people around there on quarter acre, more than quarter acre blocks. They're on 5 acre blocks, 10, 15 minutes out of the city. 5 acre blocks, 10 minutes out of the city. I went to one person's house and she had a fucking farm that was a bike ride away from the CBD, arguing not in my backyard that we shouldn't be having this urban development, this urbanization. What happened to old people retiring to the country when they wanted to live on their farms? Oh, ads. We've got an ad. We're on a break. We are on a break. So I am trying to raise money for this family, unfortunately. That does every time I mention it. And I think that's actually what I got banned for. So I've been banned off TikTok Live for a week. I only just got access to my TikTok Live back. And I think it was because I was talking about Rafa. Because that was when it happened last time. So I've got all the links and everything on my bio. It's on the page on Twitch where I'm streaming from if anybody wants to come over here and see it. Doing everything I can to draw people's attention to those. Actually, do you know what? That is what I was supposed to do. I was going to have a whiteboard set up behind me that had the GoFundMe link on it. Gotta love the lead paint stare. What lead paint? Are you talking about my lead paint stare? Just remember things are on full view in your TikTok. Oh yeah, you're talking about this being in full view on the TikTok. Yeah. I'm on another program. I'm up here on Twitch and YouTube and OBS talking to people. So I am reading rather than staring. Oh, you're talking about the boomers. Oh, cool. Yeah. See, I'm autistic, so you are going to have to explain yourself a little bit to me sometimes. I do apologize. I do genuinely try and be I'll just explain myself. I don't tend to get insulted too easily because I'm probably misunderstanding something somebody's saying. But I will always assume that every comment is directed at me. Because I'm you're talking to me. It must be about me, right? Autism, communication disability shit 101. Hey, Kim. Hello. Yes, everything is in full view on my TikTok. And so I am going to not be doing it in full view of the TikTok. Not in my backyard. Where did you get that muzzer? Which one? I blew up. Oh, yeah. You blew up a camera lens, Kim. That fucking sucks. Yeah, and the worst part is this NIMBY who had this 5 acre block. Beechworth has honey. Oh. But she was running a campaign for the Greens. She was running one of the upper house senators' campaigns while arguing that development needed to be done. And it was so frustrating too because they kept asking me, development was this huge, big issue around that election. And I was basically, because so many people within the Greens, the NIMBYs, the old people within the Greens in that part of the western suburbs were all wealthy. They were all wealthy white women. And so I couldn't just come straight out and be all of the fucking development. My voice was... Hang on, I'm going to try and... Nope, that doesn't work. Oh, well, that's fine. Whatever, doesn't matter. I leave the bees to themselves, yeah. Oh, see, and again, I think one of the interesting things... I'm all good. I'm a Twitch streamer too, so I get it. Oh, cool. Yeah, no worries. I can't have a cone in hospital, so punch one for me. No. Why can't you have one in hospital? You can go outside. Just get someone to bring you a block. Just so when I was in hospital, I was in the psych ward and I was allowed to go out for walks, and I had someone bring me a blunt, and I would take it with me on my little walks. And I was only allowed to go out accompanied, but there was a lovely nurse who was very willing to go on a walk with me so I could have a quick chuff. So I have a prescription though as well. Like it's a prescription. It's on prescription. So that does make it a bit easier when you're going into hospital and you're like, nurse, I need my weed. Hi. The link to join is in the I'll be on for another hour and a half. I'll be on until 2 o'clock or just after 2 today. And the link to join, if you want to jump up and join me, is in the Discord. One thing I'd love to hear you promo. See, that is actually something that I could do. I could do promo for some small scale weed farm, maybe some smaller scale. I'm not a big fan of the industrial market, but fucking yeah. Sorry, this is I haven't even had a chuff today. This coffee is annoying the shit out of me. I need it to go already. Gosh, I coughed so much last night I vomited. I was coughing so hard last night I threw up. It was so bad. Like I just could not stop. Oh, shit. Stop coughing, T. Yeah, okay. Just stop. Just stop. Just stop instantly. Recreational use of the good smoke. Yeah. Get some water, yeah. Oh, Polly's, we have no money. And sitting there in this huge bag. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I got a prescription and it stops me throwing up. I was throwing up and they were doing everything to stop me being sick. Yeah, I need my inhaler is actually what I need. I think that this cough is just, ugh. Yeah, I had the same thing. I was vomiting every morning from anxiety. I was vomiting every morning from anxiety. It was so bad. So bad. This rash has started to clear up finally too. Flippin' heck, can you see? See that, guys? See the rash? Look at that big red rash on my forehead. It's starting to clear itself up. Starting to fade. Starting to go. Just, God almighty. Belle, you want a tea? I think I need a tea. I need a tea. Where's my tea, Kim? No offer for me for tea. It's because you stopped rubbing echidnas on your forehead. I thought you were saying echinacea. See, it's your writing and my reading. I was like, stop rubbing echinacea on your head. I was like, does echinacea on the head work? Should I try echinacea? I haven't tried echinacea on my head yet. You're too far away. Fair enough. White with honey, please. Oh, sorry. You don't have honey. Or milk. You can have oat milk. Oat milk. Kind of smacks. I can't smoke it much because it messes with my brain chemical. What we all need to do is eat keto to stop all these problems. And you know what? I've done a lot of research on cannabis for a lot of different medical things as well. Hi, Helen Crane. Lovely to meet you. Lovely to see you. How you going? It's so good to see you again. It's a bit, actually, you know what? I feel like it's been a while since I've even been on this app. So that's why I feel like I haven't seen anyone so long. I'm like, my goodness, people, I haven't seen you in the longest time. But yeah, I've been a bit hit and miss, haven't I? I've only just sort of come back. Yeah, been a while. I've only just sort of come back properly, haven't I, in the last sort of 6 months. And honestly, a lot of stuff that was happening in Gaza and Palestine and that is one of the reasons that I've been trying to make a focus to come back more is because don't you eat echinacea? Yeah. I've got echinacea. I make a tea out of echinacea. I've got my own. And I've also got verbena and vervain, which you use the root, and you can make a tea out of those as well. And they're very good for anti-anxiety. Yeah. Oh, no, we're a soy family. Of course. Of course. Fair enough. We can't do soy because of my son. And again, when I found out that my kid, like, I was vegan. So before I had kids, I was vegan. Our reaction to the world. Yeah, Pills Help Us Cope. Yep. I'm struggling to find abolition books written about our prison system. I am currently not working on a book particularly about abolition in the prison system, but about the criminalisation of behaviour, of certain human behaviours, and making, like, the invention of the criminal, basically. What was the name of the book you quoted on prison systems here? Oh, what? Yeah, exactly. Our reactions are rational. Absolutely. So is Scotch. Yes, Scotch is. What was the book that I mentioned about prisons? Fuck, now I've got to remember. I mentioned so many books. There is, if you want to know about book recommendations, book list, it was in one of your... Rough Justice. Are you talking about Rough Justice? That's one of the ones I mentioned recently that was talking about it's not talking about prison abolition, it's talking about criminal justice, prosecution, and the way police choose which crimes to go after, and how, like, the criminal justice system isn't really about justice so much as it's about big guys, throwing their weight around, trying to control everybody else. Hypno working for you. You're still craving hardcore. But you're 7 days smoke free. 7 days smoke free. That is phenomenal. That is a phenomenal effort. Fucking hell. That is a massive... What book list? Kim's book list. Kim's list of amazing books. Rough Justice. I could probably go and find it so that I can show you the cover of it. Hang on 1 second. You must be fucking close to the brains turning all the switches over. Hopefully you are, Belle. Absolutely. Okay, no, I moved my house around, and so now my bookshelf isn't where it was before. So hang on, I've got to go to the other room now. Here it is, yep. Rough Justice by Robin Bowles. Now, Robin Bowles is a journalist, and they make it really easy to engage with the work in a way. I'm going to put up here with I'm just going to show you my little stashes of books all over my fucking house, because it doesn't matter what room I'm in. I've got like a little stack of books that I'm reading. Like, honestly, fucking, those, like, movies when someone goes into the old uni professor's house and they've just got books fucking everywhere? That's my house. I'm chaos incarnate when it comes to books. I'm terrible. Because I find all of them so interesting, and I'm so interested in so many different topics, and I need to know everything about all of them all the time. Got another jumper got yet another jumper that I want to steal. Really? This one I stole from somebody else, actually. So there you go. This is a shared jumper. It's gone through. This was a hand-me-down. Butter, menthols, chocolate, and plenty of water. Good work. Good work sticking it out, Belle. So proud of you. So proud of you. Nice table ornament. Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's quite a useful table ornament as well, that one. I use it for all kinds of things. The day you go to court, the judge has quotas to meet. Yep. And the other thing as well, is we know that crime has actually gone down, but people are being incarcerated for less and less serious crimes. And the reason is because it costs a certain amount of money to operate a prison, right? Now, it costs, it costs, say, $300 million to operate the facility, whether it is empty or whether it is full. It might cost like an extra couple $100 to operate it with people in there, but the cost to operate it is pretty fixed regardless of whether or not you've got 1,000 people in there or 800, right? Like the cost doesn't change that much. So because we have like fewer and fewer crimes happening, but we have private contracts for prisons, which means these prisons, we are paying them regardless of whether we're using them or not. Like we pay them regardless of whether we have 1,000 people sleeping in those beds or whether we have 500 people sleeping in those beds. And so there's this really weird, sickening effect that happens in our criminal justice system where there is an incentive built into the system because of the way that we've sold the prison itself, the prison complex itself is now, being operated by private companies. There is a system, it's built in there itself for our criminal justice system to continue to perpetuate the prison industrial complex by sending people into that prison system. So we have magistrates who aren't just looking at you and the facts of the case and what crime you've committed and whether or not that crime needs to be punished in a certain way. They're also looking at bottom lines. They're also considering and looking at how many people they need to send away to prison every year. That shouldn't ever fucking happen. But this is again why I think I'm 100% for prison abolition. Because in order to justify having a prison, you don't just lock up hardcore murderers. You don't just lock up like people who do hardcore violent stuff I can't talk about because TikTok's going to block me again. You have to lock up kids who steal soft drinks from Coles. So we have got, in the same building, we've got people who have like attacked and violently assaulted people in the same place with 10-year-olds who've stolen bottles of pop from the local bakery. Because there is no other way to do it. And I think, personally, if you can't do something ethically, you should not do that thing. And so if we cannot... Hi, sorry for bothering you. Oh, no, thank you. Thank you so much, but no, you can go. That's fine. 100%, they have to find people to fill them. Exactly. Oh, hi. I would go to court to study the economy of crime. Hey... I have got a really interesting... Okay, so I've been making a video on the economics of crime, on like the economics of crime and the criminal industrial complex. I was making a video about justice and I started reading about the economic consequences of crime and the criminal justice process itself. And I fell down a whole fucking rabbit hole. And so now I'm working on a script literally talking about the economics of the criminal justice system and the economics of crime itself. And how much money we would save if we simply let the criminals do what they were doing and instead spend all of our time and effort focusing on giving people their basic necessities instead of even having a criminal justice system whatso-fucking-ever. Oh no, the lens is fucked. Fuck. We'll make it our next Kofi goal after we've got Wales family. Now, I was going to give an update as well. So, from my last update from Wales family, they are no longer in Rafah. They are now waiting for the border crossing. They are waiting for the crossing to be open so that they can leave. So, they're there ready to leave. They are waiting for the crossing to be open so that they can leave. So, obviously, we still have to... We've got to do what we can, but... Yes, it very much does look like there is the chance that this family will be coming home. Will be not. So I shouldn't say coming home. They're leaving their home. They're fleeing their home. But this family will be reunited soon, hopefully. There are lots of families who are choosing to stay and are choosing to try not to leave. But that just wasn't possible for Wael's family. And fortunately, he was able to get his daughter out very, very early on in the piece. But yeah, mum and dad are still waiting to be reunited, and yeah, they're waiting at the moment. So as soon as they aren't that much, and I need it yesterday. Shit, Fucking hate that. I hate that when you smash something that you really fucking need. It's like, no. No. I put the studio mode on, did I not? Obviously, I didn't put studio mode on, because if I had, it wouldn't have done that, would it? Wouldn't have done that if you'd put studio mode on, would it? Sorry. Sorry, I muted Twitch, but I forgot, like, of course you guys there on TikTok have to deal with me coughing. So sorry. Here we go. Here we go. There we are. There we are. Oh, I know. Reward the kiddo with a pretzel and dropped it. Nothing like being almost. Yep. Oh, it sucks. It sucks. You might be able to repair it. Like, it might not be easy, don't get me wrong, but there might be a way to repair it. You might need to get new glass or something fit, but interest-free. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I do think that that's gross as well. I think it's absolutely gross that we, we're doing this to children. We're doing this to fucking children as well, which is just the thing that shits me off the most. More than anything else about it is the fact that we have not, like, people want to go on about progress all of the fucking time, and the criminal justice system is the thing that I point to. And I should have brought it up with that racist the other day on live stream, which I still haven't gotten over. I still haven't gotten over that racist on live stream the other day, because, like, some people are just so fucking arrogant. Oh, the body's sitting all wonky. Maybe don't look at it today. Maybe today's not the day for looking at it. I don't know. I encourage it. I am only just realizing how blonde. Like, I haven't had my hair done or anything. Like, I was like, yeah, my hair is completely natural now. If anyone was to say to me, wow, your hair color's lovely, like, where do you get it done? I'd be like, I don't. This is all 100% natural. Like, I have no color in my hair at all. And I'm like, I'm actually blonde. I have always just been like, I'm not blonde, guys. I get my hair colored. What the fuck ever. But, like, I am actually blonde. There you go. Like, I'm not bottle blonde, obviously. But this is... I'm having a very weird mental... Uni. What's going on? Uni. But I can pull things apart. I was blonde once. What is the uni? What is that, chat? What is that, is that a cheer, is it? Is that a cheer? Is that a bit of a cheer? Oh, you did. You cheered 4 bits. On the unicorn hearts. They're unicorn hearts. Oh. Very cool. Very cool. I can see them on my activity feed. Very cool. I thought they were penises. I was a bit confused because they look like penises. And so I was like, is it unit? Is it supposed to be a unit? Like, what? If you look at the unicorn, you'll see what I mean. It looks like a penis. Peni, the plural. They looked like peni. Thank you, Kim. Yes, of course. How odd is it, though? How odd is it? Because I've never considered, like, I mean, I've just always been like, I don't know, like, I'm finding it odd anyway. I'm finding it odd. I suppose because we spend so much time putting, like, colours and shit on our faces and doing all this stuff. Now, we kind of forget what we look like a little bit, maybe. Maybe that's just me. Now, I'm just going to refresh the donations goal and see if there's been any change there. Come on. No, there's not been any change there. Okay, that's fine. Peanut are pretty odd. They are. They're a very odd appendage. I often do find it interesting, considering that female is the base state, and male sort of amalgamates from that. Like the male is an evolution from female. Found it very interesting that the what should I say, the Bible myth that came along that said man came first. They're an ugly tool. Yeah, they're an ugly tool. I have to say, that's one of the things that made me pretty convinced I was a lesbian, was because I've got a good friend who's very much 1000% straight, the straightest girl I know. I was convinced that all girls were a little bit gay until I met her. I really was. And she's just like not at all. She is so straight, I'm actually convinced she might be a man. She might be a gay man. Seems scared to even touch her own vagina. No, I'm kidding. But fetuses all start out as female. Yeah, exactly. But particularly Ugly Tool is a great name for a band. That is true. That is true. But she found penises very attractive. She was always like, oh, he's got such a beautiful penis. I was like, that's no such thing. There's no such thing as a beautiful penis. And that's what made me think that I might be gay. I mean, I'm bi. It's fine. We've all seen the bi meme. I love women. All women on the whole planet are so gorgeous. Like, every woman can step on my neck and I would thank them. Okay, but you think guys are attractive too, right? Yes. What kind of drug is she taking? I can show you, but I'll get banned. Kim, I could show you, but I would get banned. I mean, I don't want the drugs, but what are they? I have joined at an odd time. Still not working. What's not working? What's not working, DeBear? How is council approval going for your building plans? Hi, don't remain safe. So, not great. Not great at all. We are still working on it. We haven't given up. We have got another round of consultation that's being done at the moment. So one of the concerns that was being raised was obviously around, if we allow people to place tiny homes on their property, there has to be, because it's difficult to get. Anyway, there's a lot of moving parts to it, so we have to do some more community consultation. But it's not a no. It hasn't been like shot down and we haven't been told no. We've just been told that there are some questions that need to be answered before the council is willing to make a call on it. So we have to do a bit more community consultation. But yes, it is going. You did join it on time. We were talking about penises. Sorry about that, Kate. But yes, I believe that DeBear is just giving you grief for streaming about cost of living instead of working. I think that was what DeBear was getting at as well, because I think that people like DeBear, again, not calling DeBear out specifically, because I might have misread that comment. It could be the tism, but there are a lot of people out there who will immediately because DeBear is also on TikTok. So everybody has to acknowledge that if you are on TikTok and you are able to make time for that in your day, with everything that you're doing, it has to be possible for someone who is doing all those things too, who is also on TikTok at the same time as you, to be doing all of those things and still take time for TikTok. It's just that when I'm on TikTok, I'm not mindlessly scrolling and reading through other people's videos. I'm on here talking and educating and, being a bit more involved. So is that in our area? Because they are strict on the red tape, our council. Yes, Kate, it is. I have just realised and recognised that you are the Kate who is in my area. Yes, it is in our local area. So you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say we have got to do some more community consultation. We've got to do a lot more community consultation. Hello. Stop whinging, you Gen Z. Here to serve us. I'm not Gen Z, and I'm not here to serve anyone. I'm here to serve my community. But yes, so we do have, though, we've got a couple of counsellors, and what's his face from school? He's on board as well. So we've got a few of the counsellors are on board with it, and are definitely like giving us the thumbs up that they are that they're, I'm working and I'm taking this, yeah, exactly. I don't have any understanding of how people generally find men attractive. Yeah, I don't get it either, but I am also sometimes attracted to them. It's very, very confusing. The trolls are bad. The trolls are definitely bad. The trolls are always bad, though. But yeah, budget definitely does a lot to help that. Budget week always gets the people talking, because again, this whole conversation around budget, and this is why it fucks me the fuck off that we have to keep having these conversations, because they keep playing it as like two sides. Like we're trying to balance two evils here. We've got the evil of inflation that we have to balance, and that is the most important thing. And so the government can't help us because they need to fight inflation. No, you are creating okay, I'm going to wait until the ad break comes back so that people on TikTok get to enjoy this as well. We'll wait till the ad comes back. And then I'll rant. Remind me to rant about the budget when it comes back. Yeah, there are always the oldies in our community who will shut down anything forward thinking. Absolutely. Absolutely. Just to spend problem solved. Yep. And the problem is as well is that in our community we do have a lot of people who move here. Like, it seems to me we have this culture as well of old people who move here to make it an old people town, and they really want it to stay an old people town, despite the fact that there are a lot of not old people who live here. But we do seem to have a lot of really active elder people getting involved in council. Hey, God's waiting room. Yep, literally. That's what it is. That's what it is. And they're like, we came here for the fishing and the retirement. And it's like, well, I came here to raise my kids. And I want them to have somewhere to live, Like, I know you feel the same. I want my kids to be able to grow up and live in the same area I do and be able to afford a home in the same area I do. Like, just normal things. Just normal fucking things. Yeah, the government hasn't paid any debt since 2008. Yeah. It's not a real debt. It's up to us with the kids to make the change. Exactly. And unfortunately that does mean that it's on the mums. It's on the mums, because we're the ones who are out here in the community having the conversations, seeing what's happening, recognizing the patterns, and dealing like every day. Like, this is why I joined the PNC as soon as we moved here. Yeah. Well, it's true about our town too, Belle. It is true about our town. Oh, we're back. We're back from ads, so I can rant about the old people some more. I don't know why my nose is dripping. I don't have a runny nose or anything, but it's just dripping. Like, it's not even like, it's just itchy and dripping. Like, I'm not sneezing, I'm not snotting, it's just itchy and dripping. Ugh, irritating. Anyway. Forgot what I was saying then. Rant. Budget rant. That's what we were doing. I was going to talk about the budget. Thank you. Budget rant time. So, they keep trying to place it as it's us versus inflation, and we have to continue suffering in order to try and beat inflation. Like, inflation is some big dragon that's coming for us. Inflation is not some unknowable mystery creature out there that we have to try and tackle and throw it some sacrifices every now and then like a fucking virgin on the beach so that it doesn't come up and take over our entire fucking town, okay? That is not what inflation is. Inflation is the cost of things going up. Very, very simply. We know the Australian Institute has released reports. We've had so many different inquiries releasing reports that show us that this period of inflation is being pushed by greedflation. It is greedflation that is pushing it. There is nothing, we cannot have a budget, we cannot have a government talk about a budget that is trying to address inflation when inflation is being caused by people price gouging. Tackling inflation can only be tackled through public policy that tackles rent raises, having some kind of rent cap on rent raises, grocery store like caps on prices, like price gouging, like competition, fair use and fair competition laws, like breaking up these giant conglomerates, making sure that companies don't have the ability to, like, if we actually wanted to tackle inflation, those are things we would be doing. What we're not trying to do, we're not trying to tackle inflation with this budget. What we're trying to do is ensure that even though you can no longer afford to keep paying your power bill, your power company is still going to get some of their money. Even though you can no longer afford to pay your rent, your rental agent is still going to get a bit more money because there's going to be like $20 extra a month going towards them. Even though you can't afford to buy groceries anymore, other people will be able to because they'll have a bit of extra money, and so the grocery stores will still be. Even when they were talking about this budget, even when they were talking about the fact that giving everyone $300 is going to affect inflation, the examples they were giving, they were saying because people are going to take that $300 and they're going to go and spend it. They're not going to put it in the bank. They can't afford to put it in the bank. They're going to spend it on petrol, on rent. They're going to spend it on groceries. They're going to spend it on medication. It's going to go back into the economy and it's going to add to inflation. And sitting there and thinking to myself that it's not our fault, is it? If we will take every spare cent that we have and only spend it on necessities, if that's what you're telling me the problem is that we're going to be buying more necessities with that money because we have more money, we aren't the problem, because the economy growing happens because of inflation and us having more money to spend, right? You should add twat as a mod on TikTok. Have I not? Oh, sorry, type that before you started ranting about more important stuff. No, I can what? With the money announced for electric bills and Fed State both announced it, so will we get both? Yes, we will get both. We will get both. Exactly, but money can't solve shit because it's worthless. And we keep looking at money as being the solution, but this is what I keep pointing out to people as well. People, even in my comments, people are saying, of course we have to give money to businesses and support businesses because without businesses there aren't jobs. We don't need jobs. We need community. We need food, we need housing, we need each other. We don't need jobs. We don't need money. We don't even need electricity. We need each other. We need community. We need supports. We need... And every single time the problem is we can't afford those things that we need, the answer is take more time out of your community, take more time away from your community that you give support to. You can't afford to volunteer with the PNC. You can't afford to volunteer at the kids' school. You can't afford to go and volunteer down at the local op shops. You can't afford to go and volunteer down at the hospital. You need to spend every moment you can working to earn money just so you can survive. So we have to take more and more and more of this volunteer, community labor out of the community because those people can't afford to do that anymore. And our communities are breaking down at an exorbitant rate, and people are turning around and going, we need more police? No, we need less money, we need less jobs, we need less work. We all need to be working half as much as we fucking are. We all need to be spending a lot more time at home, in our homes, in our community. We aren't spending any time in our homes. At the moment, people are like, okay, they're making apartments without kitchens in New York because people aren't cooking and eating in their houses, and it's cheaper to buy an apartment that doesn't even have a kitchen in it. So they're buying apartments that don't even have kitchens. They just have a sink with running water to wash up after themselves in. And it's like, that's fine because we no longer cook for each other. We no longer have people over. We no longer entertain. We no longer spend any time in our homes because we have to spend all of our time out there serving the economy just so that it'll give us back those few things that we need to survive, like food and shelter. Community, 100%. Yeah, thank you. And if anybody does, I'm going to add, I didn't realize twat wasn't a mod, so I'm going to add you as a mod now. But, yeah, if you could like the live as well, guys, that is a really good one that stops TikTok from cancelling me. They like to kick me off regularly. They do, just saying things as I'm working and listening. Yeah. No, I appreciate that. I appreciate the working and the listening. Yeah, the postmodern housing solution is complete rubbish. And the housing market, the idea that you need to own the home that you live in and that there needs to be, like, again, back in the day when people say you want to go out in the bush and build a home and whatever, back in the day, you didn't just go out in the bush and build a home. You would go and find, like, for example, okay, not not a great fucking example, but pre the US Civil War, okay, with the splitting up of the housing and the way that it worked, the government would give parcels of land to people who had earned it through whatever, like this is what people say instead of capitalism. Yeah, we had feudal landlords. Yeah, okay. But not all feudal landlords were out there just looking out for themselves. They were also a member of that community. They wanted their community to thrive and survive because they were also a member of that community. Not all of them were kings in castles, going to balls, like doing... So the Scottish Lards in particular, I'm using their example because they took the same philosophy that they had in Scotland towards their lardships, and they employed it in the US when they were given their land parcels when they fought. When they went over there and they were given their land parcels, they had the same... they took the same approach to it. So people would come wanting to join their community, and they would be allowed to do so. But if there were issues and things, or there were problems, and like people would be removed from the community, they would say, look, you're going to go and have to find somewhere else to go and live because you are not contributing to this community. You are not safe to this community. Like, this community is operating in a certain way that you're not necessarily willing to operate within. And it wasn't like you had to buy or whatever. Like, you would rock up and you'd be like, hey, these guys need a doctor. I have some, like, I've delivered babies. I'm a midwife. I've got some doctoring skills. I'll build a home here in this community. I'll join this community and provide some sort of, care and all the rest of it. And they would all come together and help build a house. And again, there was no, like, cost involved. It was, you're joining our community to help and form a part of that community. And that was the same way that the feudal system had operated in Scotland previously. Again, I'm not saying it was perfect or anything of the sort. What I'm saying is that for a long time, the English view and our idea about the way that the English did economics was the way that we decided everyone did because of their colonization. Because the English colonized every fucking place, we decided that feudalism, according to the British, is the way feudalism looked every fucking where. And so people think that capitalism was an improvement on feudalism. But for a lot of people, particularly those who weren't living like under the thumb of the British, feudalism wasn't a bad way to live. Feudalism for a lot of people in Scandinavian countries wasn't a bad way to live. Like, sure, they didn't have fucking mobile phones. I would argue mobile phones haven't really helped our cause much as far as the survival of the human species. Like, I'm spending most of my week online begging for donations for a family to try and escape a war zone. Like, that's what mobile phones have got us. I just, yeah. Any hoozles. Oh, the idea that we are always constantly moving forward and that what we have is always progress is one of the biggest issues that I have with, like, the Hegelian, like, Hegel and his philosophy. I'm a Hegelian philosopher. I love Hegel. I absolutely fucking love Hegel. But the obsession with the idea that we are always moving, that we are always progressing, what we are doing is just assumed to be progress, is so batshit off the wall. I cannot believe any philosopher would ever say that or believe it. The idea that we are always progressing. Like, we've actively watched societies deteriorate. Like, the fall of Rome happened before Hegel was writing about how society was always progressing. So someone explain to me why philosophers seem so obsessed with the idea that we're always moving forward and we're always progressing. Because so far, bitch, all I see is a lot of examples all throughout history about how societies always think they're doing the thing and then they fall apart. They absolutely fall the fuck apart. Anywho. Oh, sorry guys. Progressive mindset, yeah, it relies on others being oppressed. It does. And it also relies on this idea as well, particularly because we will look back historically and we will say, okay, but the English were nomadic or not the English, I shouldn't say, but whoever they were before, like the Woads. Was it the Woads? I feel like I'm mixing up my tribes. I feel like I'm mixing up my pre-feudalist tribes a little bit. But the Woads, who lived on the Isle, the British Isles, before it became the British Isles, they had to believe that they were progress from the Woads, right? and they looked. You want Celts? Sorry, I want the Celts. Sorry, and the Proto Celts. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, I keep mixing up my fucking pre-feudal tribes. Anyway, so the Celts and the Proto-Celts. The English looked back at their history of the Celts and the Proto-Celts and went, well, they were savages. They were primitive. We have progressed beyond that, which means any culture that looks like the Proto-Celt culture is also primitive, is also a culture of savages. And the natural progress would be for them to develop from a Proto-Celtic society into a modern-day British Isles. That is the natural progress because that's what we did. And so they take that mindset and apply it to even the history of Ireland because it's easier to... Exactly, yeah. But they apply it to every other nation. So they look at us and they even look at nations throughout the African continent and go, this is reminiscent of the Proto-Celtic environment, the Proto-Celtic society, which means they haven't progressed beyond that stage of development, which is the natural stage of development. And Marx takes this idea and instead applies it to social constructs. Like we have this feudalist idea, which is very much like a paternalistic, childish, like we had sort of a family relationship where we are all a family. And then because the family gets bigger and we need someone who's going to be like a head of the family, it turns into a paternalistic arrangement where there's a town with a head. And then because it grows again, it turns into a government sort of arrangement where there's a government body that controls the people, and then it has to turn into a national body because now suddenly we're dealing with other large bodies as well. So in terms of like the social progress Marx talks about, he talks about how we then need to move beyond, because moving from community to this paternalistic setup, that's the problem there. We need to go back to where we don't have that sort of paternalistic hierarchical setup. And hierarchies exist because of reputation, experience, like knowledge. Like we value people's experience, knowledge, and understanding. And so we have hierarchies that exist naturally in communities where it's like so-and-so down the street is the person you go to for healthcare advice because they know the most about that shit. Tamara's the one you go to for sewing advice because that's all she's ever fucking doing. So, if you want information about this in particular, that's the person to go to because they've got the expertise. So there's a hierarchy that's born out of understanding and expertise and value given to the community rather than simply deciding one person gets to be in charge. And why that person gets to be in charge as well, because the whys and wherefores about who we are choosing to be in charge of us, again, every fucking day I'm having arguments with people who say that I don't know as much as our politicians. It's like, literally, bitch, I've worked alongside these people. I know as much as they do and more on some counts. A lot more on some counts. And that's why I find it so fucking frustrating, because most people out here right now watching this shit know more than most of our politicians about something. But instead because we're prioritizing the connections that they have. We're prioritizing who they know, not what they know, who they know. But they take those connections and they use them for the benefit of those other connections and to build more connections for themselves. Not for us, not because they're actually trying to do any good and run the country, not because they actually want any benefit for fellow man. Yeah, St. Patrick concept of progress. Yeah, polygamy relationships. Yeah, exactly. Polygamy is a natural swing regarding Celtic history. Not all cultures claim. And the family unit, the mother, father, child family unit, that was a Western introduction. That was a colonial introduction. The 1, 2, and you and me and a baby makes 3. That is very much a colonial. Hey, hello. Garanaranja, how are ya? It's the modern history book, so it only looks so far back. It does, yeah. It does. It is. And again though, those assumptions that we have, that we're moving in the right direction at all times. Why? Where does that idea come from? Labor are going to get slaughtered in the coming election cycle. They haven't lifted the burden at all, and everyone is still comping. Yep. And we're all waiting. We're waiting for them to try and fix it. We're waiting for them to do something about it. Oh, no, we're talking about Aussie politics. We're talking about Aussie politics at the moment. We're talking about the latest budget that was released last night in Australia. And no one is happy. No one is happy. Mostly no one is happy because the people who were hoping for relief got none, next to none. And the people who were hoping for the pause to be kicked a bit more didn't get that. So, but again, I don't think we should be trying to come up with a middle ground between the people who are hoping to feed their kids and the people who want to kick the pause. Like, everyone says, oh, we've got to find a middle ground. I'm like, can we look at who we're trying to find the middle ground between, though? Because your middle ground is between people not being able to feed their kids and other people wanting those same kids to starve. And we're trying to find a middle ground in the middle where, like, oh, maybe only half of the kids starve. Like, what the fuck? I don't know much about Australia. It's like the USA mostly, right? No. We are America's bitch in the fact that we do what America tells us to. But in terms of our political, engagement as a country, I would say a lot more Aussies tend to be a lot more engaged on a superficial level because we all have to vote. But there are also fewer Aussies engaged, I think, on a... Yeah, the USA is a hellscape by comparison. Yeah. And I think you probably have less Americans involved, but more Americans involved on a deeper level as a percentage of the population. We have more Australians involved, but far fewer involved on that deeper level. There tends to be a lot more people who have very little idea what's going on, who think they have a lot of idea what's going on. Yeah, people seem to have half a thought. How many political parties do you have? We have lots. We have lots of political parties. So the two major parties that we have are the Liberal and Labor Party. The Liberal Party are the blue guys. And over on this side of the ocean, the blue guys are the bad guys. The Liberals are fiscally conservative, and they're the ones who want us all to starve and die so that they don't have to keep looking at our poor faces anymore. The red team are the ones who also think that we're poor and deserve to die, but they pretend that they're the party of the people. They pretend they're the working party. So they're kind of a bit like your blue team over there in that they're all talk, no action. Then we have the green team, which do a lot more for people than people realise, and people shit on them a lot. But they are also deserving of being shat on sometimes, and so I am not above shitting on them. I will shit on them occasionally too when they need it. And then we have a lot of, like, you can run as an independent, and we have a lot of independents who are who are serving in the lower house at this particular time. We also, so we have the three branches of government like you do. Which ones are like the USA Democrats? The Labor Party. The Labor Party are like the USA Democrats. Oh, yeah, none but the Labor Party. In that they performative and pretend that they're for the people while doing nothing. They have that similarity. But in terms of, like, the political quadrant, we actually don't have any parties that are sitting in the same... Yeah, very superficially. Both of our major parties are very fiscally conservative in this country, which they didn't used to be, and it is causing us massive, massive problems. Yeah, we used to have, one of our parties used to be a little bit more, they used to spend a little bit more, they were a bit more willing to be a bit more ham-fisted. I think what I'm trying to We only have one political party, but they wear two different colours and they fight with each other in the media to give everyone the impression that there's two of them. And then there are some other parties as well who are really trying to actually do the work of government. I'm a Liberal Democrat from Cali, progressive. What would I be in Australia? Labor? Hopefully not. If you are genuinely progressive and you genuinely believe that, like, women deserve, because the problem with the Labor Party in Australia is that the Labor Party in Australia has a very strong Catholic, Christian, conservative wing to it. So they are a little bit more, So in that case, I would say you'd be a Greens over here. You'd be more of a Greens. And we have that benefit that you guys don't have, where because we have ranked choice voting and not first past the post, so we've got ranked choice voting and it goes all the way down until we get to the winning candidate. We have the option to, you could start your own political party. I'm trying to start my own political party at the moment called Housing First, and I'm trying to get it up and running in time for the next federal election, and I don't think it's going to happen nationally. I do not think it's going to happen nationally, but I'm still going to run as an independent on a Housing First platform at the next federal election, and we'll see. And then I'll start the Housing First party as soon as I've got some, maybe in time for the next election, we'll see. If you're remotely lefty here, you basically fall behind the Greens party. Yeah, absolutely. And again, being in Australia, I will criticise the Greens all day, every day. And a lot of Greenies don't like it. A lot of, very much like people over there in the US being like, don't hate on Joe Biden and the Democrats unless you want Trump to win. It's like, no, that's, once again, it's like the whole inflation thing. Don't give poor people money unless you want inflation to win. No, I can do both. I can give the poor people the money and I can tell inflation to go fuck itself through other policy. I don't have to. It's austerity politics and it's bullshit. It's all bullshit. They're just convincing us all that we're stuck between a rock and a hard place when they created both the rock and the hard place and stuck us in the middle. Sorry. This is why I wasn't going to come on today. I'm just not. I'm not. This budget makes me want to tear my eyes and my hair out and shove them down my own throat. Get it out. Yeah. Yeah. Do you think that many parties will eventually consolidate to only 2 or 3 at the end in the far future? No. Yes, they will, in terms of they have done that in the past. We have a very, very big, strong history in this country of coalition governments and coalition parties. One of our major parties, the Liberal Party, is actually made up of 3 different parties. There's the Liberal Party, the Liberal National Party, and the National Party that all joined together to form the Liberal National Party nationally. So, they have, the Country Nationals, the Liberals, the National... anyway, they are made up of multiple different parties, and they formed a coalition to form one party when the Labor Party became really big, to try and get the balance of power back in government. The Greens and Labor are too diametrically opposed in terms of policy to be able to form any kind of real ongoing partnership. They could form a coalition government, yes, but they won't be able to form any ongoing long-term partnership, mainly, again, because of that really staunch right-wing Catholic arm of the Labor Party government. There's a lot of core policies within the Greens that the right-wing faction of the Labor Party would never agree to. But that does create the problem where in the Greens, we end up with a lot of left-leaning Labor people who should be in Labor. They shouldn't be in the Greens. They're not left-wing enough for the Greens, but Labor's not left-wing enough for them, so they've joined the Greens. Hence the reason, if it ever did happen that the Greens and Labor were going to consolidate or they were going to form, another party would spring up. We would have another party, the Greens in Western Australia is only 30 years old or something, so there would be another political party that would spring up. We would never only have 2 or 3. There will always be, and there always are, there are always new political parties that are springing up that are trying to gain seats in our government as well. Yeah, Canada also has many parties, yeah. Oh, yeah, no, the party lines, yeah, formed way. Yeah, it's like the Catholics versus the Protestants going all the way back. Yeah. Oh, and break again. Are the Christians their own party in Australia? We do have a Christian Conservative family party, but most of the Christians join the Liberal Party. There's a very strong Christian faction, evangelical Christian faction within the Liberal Party. The more old school Christians, like the Catholics, tend to join the Labor Party, but there are still obviously very hardcore. But like, Church of England, or like any of the ones that sing at church, they're all the Liberal Party members. The more hardcore, yeah, it's funny. It's funny that, isn't it? It's like the the I don't know. It's like, yeah, funny the way it works. Christian liberal sounds odd to me. Yeah. The words are different. Yeah. Yeah. So because liberal comes from the idea of freedom, so liberalism is the idea about like individual freedom and individual, autonomy. And so they take that word of Christian liberalism and they want freedom for Christian autonomy and Christian values and Christian. So they want Christian liberalism where we're all free to live in a Christian way. Doesn't make much sense, but yeah. Yeah, what's the soon be rich gospel? Prosperity gospel. Prosperity gospel. They have fantastic bonkers party. Yeah. Yeah, prosperity gospel. That's the one. Liberals and their prosperity gospel. But that's it. No, fair enough. Took me a second to click onto it too. But this is also one of the reasons that I say I'm a constructivist when it comes to public policy, when it comes to political science, when it comes to international relations. I'm a constructivist. I want to look at the context within which a thing is happening. Because exactly, I know from the context in this country that you can't say that all the religious people tend to be right-wingers in this country, because there are different religious folks who have different and it's, again, like the communities and the cultures and the ideology play such a strong part in all of this. You can't. Hey, Stephen! What Australia Party is for letting immigrants in? The Greens, the only ones. Everyone else, yeah. Liberals are offshore detention. Labor are offshore detention, but with more female guards. And the Greens are, how about we just treat people humanely? So, yeah. Yup. What is the Greens' views on taxes and social programs? Yeah, social programs are underfunded. Everybody in this country agrees that Australia's tax system is more fucked than any other, any other Western democratic country's tax system. None of them are as fucked up as ours is. Anyone who has to do any kind of like tax accounting or like income, oh no. We need a complete overhaul of the tax system, and everyone is pretty much aware of that. The Liberals aren't willing to do it though, because it serves them really well, because all of their mates are making big bucks. And the Liberals aren't willing to do it either for the same reason, but they pretend that they can't do it because there's just too much else to do right now. We're just very, very busy. Yeah, if you want any kind of progress at all in this country, you have to vote for the Greens. There is no other option. If you actually want social programs to be invested in, it used to be the Labor Party. The Labor Party, the last truly progressive program the Labor Party came up with was the NDIS, which they are now also attacking. What percentage of the Greens holding now? Like none. But we have two houses of government. We have the lower house and the upper house. The lower house, which is the so we've got the different branches of government, and we've got the two different houses. So you've got the House of Representatives, which is also where our cabinet is chosen from. They're chosen from out of the House of Representatives, and they're the ones who form government. But in order for policy to be approved, it has to pass both houses. And in the Senate, they don't have balance of power. So they have balance of power in the lower house, but in the upper house, the Greens hold, well, the Greens along with the Independents hold the balance of power, which means they have to work with these other branches, with these other parties in order to get policy through. Unfortunately, because they have the Liberals who they are very strongly aligned with in a lot of things, they can often, which is why the two-party system's a farce. Because what they'll do is they'll use the Liberal Party to back them up to get things over the line that the lefts don't like. And they pretend that they're two different parties, but they're really not. And that's, the Liberal and Labor Party are the way that the Murdoch family has been able to maintain the balance of power in Australia for the last 3 decades. On the right-hand side. Oh. Yeah, we have 76 seats altogether. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the thing that really does bug me a lot with so many of these programs and things where people say, you know, just fucking work harder. No one should have to work to have their basic needs met. No one, I do not think that in any way, shape or form, like it's just, we are capable as a society of providing. We are capable. And I am, like, I don't know a single person, there's not a single person in my life who wouldn't be willing to get out of bed every day to ensure that everyone was able to have their basic needs met. Like, half of the reason that we're all so fucking lazy is because we're working so hard all the time for fucking nothing. We go home, put $20 in our car on the way home to make sure we've got enough money in the car to get to work the next day just to do it all over again. Like, my mortgage takes up 80% of my income. My mortgage is taking up 80% of my income, guys. And the rest of it is going on, like 100% of my income is going on groceries and bills. Like I go grocery shopping every other week and I pay my bills every other week. There's no... It's just fucked. It's just fucked. It's just fucked. It's just fucked. Greens to stop needless destruction. Yep. Yeah, stop the abuse of power. Absolutely. Greens are commies. What's wrong with that? I'm a commie. Sorry, did anyone not know that I was a commies? We all go broke if the Greens were in power. We don't need money. Money's fake. Like, this is what I don't get when people say shit like this all the time. Like, oh yeah, like, you won't be able to pay your bills if the Greens are in power. I won't have any bills if the Greens are in power. That's the whole point, right? Like, money's fake. We made it up. We don't fucking need it. Structurally, it seems very similar to American Congress. It is more similar. So we have what we call the Westphalia approach. So it's based, it's a mixture of the British and the American approaches to government. We sort of combine the two. We've got a bit of a blend of the two. But it's probably more similar to the British system in a lot of the structural ways that it is the American system, to be honest. My rent's fixed at 25% of nothing, but that's because I'm special. Good job. Yeah, we're all already broke. Absolutely. Gonna be rich tomorrow. Yep. He thinks he's gonna be rich tomorrow. Temporarily embarrassed billionaire. No, so we have housing programs that will will tie your rent to your income, so you only ever pay a quarter of your income towards your household expense, to your rent expenses. There are housing programs that are very, very limited, very, very underfunded, nowhere near enough actual, nowhere near enough actual, what's the word? Forgot what I was saying. I do that so often. Fucking hell. Forget a word and I just forget the entire thing I'm on. Westminster. No. The Westminster is what they use. So there's the Westminster and the American. So the Westminster is the English approach. There's the Philadelphia system, which is the American approach, and we have like a Westphalia system. So we have a third of the income is what you're supposed to use as a guide for working out your expenses. With the Department of housing program, your rent is capped at 25% of your income, or the market rent, whatever's the lower amount. Is your mortgage, so my mortgage is through a bank. I have a private mortgage through a bank. My mortgage is, now this is the difficult thing at the moment. Mine is sitting at about, I think it's 6%, 6.25%, my mortgage is at the moment. When I got the mortgage 12 months ago, it was 4.2%. So in 12 months, my mortgage has gone up by half. Like the percent that I'm paying on interest repayments has gone out by half. And I've only had the mortgage for a year. So of course that means I'm paying a lot of interest. Could you have gotten a mortgage with a fixed rate? If you want to get a mortgage with a fixed rate, at the time when I wanted to get the mortgage with a fixed rate, the fixed rate was 7.5%. So I would still be paying more on a fixed mortgage than I am paying now, even with the rates having gone up as much as they are. The bank won't let you fix your mortgage. Like, you can't fix it at today's rate of 6%. They will make you, like, it was 4% when I got the mortgage, and if I wanted to fix it, I had to fix it at 7.5%. I had to go up by 3.5% in order to fix it. So even though my mortgage has gone up a lot, it is still cheaper than what it would have been if I'd been on a fixed rate from the start. Right, that's okay. That's all right. And it is frustrating too when people talk about that, like, why didn't you, like, so stupid, you should have gone on a fixed rate. Everybody was telling us that the interest rates were not going to go up. Every single person was telling us, and everyone out there was saying that, get a mortgage, blah, blah, blah. And so even the banks were even like, oh, it's not going to go up, so you may as well, you know what I mean? Like, this is maybe more efficient in the USA. Your housing's nowhere near as expensive as ours is. But for the amount of space that we have much fewer cities with industry that people, like, we have a very undeveloped economy. People think that we have a very developed economy because of the color of our skin, of the people that they see on the news. But we have a very undeveloped economy. Yeah, but this is why. This is the problem. The whole mortgage process, and again, this is why I'm a constructivist, because you cannot just look at the mortgage process and look at the policy and look at the government and look at the economy and just go, tick, 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 I know everything I need to know. No, we have massive mandlass with a very underdeveloped economy, with no industry to speak of whatsoever other than like digging raw resources out of the ground and shipping them overseas. So again, very underdeveloped economy, very, very much at risk to market forces and market pressures, and like changes in commodity prices have a massive impact on our economy because of how underdeveloped our economy is. So when you have such an underdeveloped economy and people are trying to figure out where to live, they all have to go to the same places because that's where all of the jobs are, it's where all of the industry is, it's where all the opportunities are. You have to live where those opportunities are. And when you have a very underdeveloped economy with very few with very few sectors that are, providing employment, you don't get to, like, you go where those jobs are, and there are five cities where those jobs exist. Like, yeah, six cities in the whole country you can go to live. So competition is a lot more fierce for housing in Australia than it is in America. A lot more fucking fierce. And it's because of our underdeveloped economy. So we are running a developed housing market over the top of a very underdeveloped economy with no industry. And those two things do not gel well. And this is why I keep telling people, APRA keeps going on about how our economy is backed by our very safe and secure Australian mortgages. They are holding up our economy. And our entire, like, we are so badly at risk. Our entire economy is at risk of just going tits up and us ending back in the fucking Stone Age, because people have so little idea of just how many of these issues convalesce to create this fucking mess of a shitstorm that we are dealing with. And yeah, giving everybody housing would cause our economy to tank, but that means we have a chance to build a strong, robust economy from its ashes that doesn't depend on the fucking raw resources and housing as the only two things keeping us all alive. Yeah. It's really, like, again, it's interesting to hear people from the outside being like, but you know, you've got, like, I hear people, when people say to me, what do you mean that you guys don't all use, what do you mean your biggest use coal and gas? What do you mean your country is powered by coal and gas? You've got more sun than anyone in the entire planet. There's a fucking hole in the ozone layer that literally means the sun is bearing down on you guys harder than it is anywhere else on the fucking earth. And you're not leading the way in solar technology? You have some of the windiest, like, you want to talk about Chicago, the windy city? Perth is windier than Chicago. Most of Western Australia is windier than, the entire coast of Western Australia would have the best wind farms. We could power the entire fucking planet just operating wind farms off the coast of Western Australia with the fucking gale force winds we get out here. Like, we have got so much more natural resources than the rocks we can dig out of the ground, but we have such an underdeveloped economy that is all we can do. No, we don't need a strong economy. We do not need a strong economy. We don't need our economy to keep growing either. Absolutely. Yeah. Perth is so windy. Yes. Are you going to join me, Peter? Yeah, Australia has all the resources to be self-sufficient except for petrol, and we don't need petrol. Not a problem. Exactly. We don't, we can develop other technologies that can get us around that don't require petrol as well. Yeah. What, you want the government to make power plants? We stopped doing that before the snowing was even finished. Yeah. Probably not now. Fair enough. Oh, you've got your Twitch account set up. Yay! Okay, so now what you have to do is you also have to create a StreamYard account. It doesn't have to be a paid account. I just create a free StreamYard account, because if you log into StreamYard and then click on my link to join me on my live, you can also stream my live with you in it. We can be here streaming to your Twitch and mine at the same time. And Rachel's when she joins us as well. Transport. We need to move our transport systems away from petrol and diesel. Yeah, exactly. And again, there are plenty of other ways to do transport that don't involve petrol and diesel. We have just decided to rely on those for an extended amount of time. For all of the amount of time. Yeah, but again, we don't need crude oil. We don't need crude oil, especially because, much love. Oh. Guild tags. Interesting. There's like a whole heap of shit happening over on Discord. I don't understand any of it. Yeah, we need the rail system we were placed in the 70s and 80s. And look, multiple governments, especially on the East Coast, have been trying to look into getting a rail network that would connect the East Coast. And it's just too fucking expensive. Every time they look at it, it's just too fucking expensive. But the point is that if we stop spending all this money in all these other places, we would save money. Yeah, 26 million. Is that all we've got we've got more. What? Really? Wow. Yeah, there you go. So we have less people living in Australia than they have living in California. How's that? And 90% of our population is white. But yeah, everyone should still freak out and worry about the Great Replacement Theory, because despite the fact that 100% of this continent used to be black, now 90% of it's white, and white people are at risk of being wiped out. Yeah, absolutely. That rail would change our landscape. Imagine a bullet train from the top to bottom of the East Coast of Australia, and stop fucking putting all of our money into Qantas and JetSet, and like actually start investing in long-term transport for the future, rather than giving all of our money to private companies to keep price gouging us. You know, I would love a train that got us into the city rather than a fucking plane and a bus. They're like, 200 return tickets to the city from regional locations. You know, capped. $200 each way. Oh, okay. Capped. It's going to cost me $400 to fly to the city for a doctor's appointment. No worries. That's awesome. That's so good. But you couldn't just put a train in. Instead of capping those prices and giving Sky Air all of that money, you could put a train in, and we could pay you for the train, and you could make money that way. I don't know. I'm lying. I do know. It's all bullshit. Yeah, we could have had it off the backs of the Japanese system in the 80s, but we didn't want it because we wanted planes. Yep. Yeah, and you know, the whole environment in fantastic shape right now. Renewables, all that good stuff. Yep. All those good things. Now, I have been live now for an hour and a half. I've been live for 90 minutes. Yeah, utter bullshit from top to bottom. Absolutely. And also racism. One of the reasons that we didn't want to invest in the Japanese rail network was because of racism. That was that's the other issue that we have a lot of the time with these advancements. Because 90% of our country is white, which means 90% of us are xenophobics and terrified of the rest of the fucking world. I'm sorry, God almighty, God. Yep. Now everywhere has a better rail network than us. America was the fucking Amtrak system has a better rail network than us. Far out. And you want to talk about going out and living and not being in demand and not wanting to live in cities and not wanting to live... Build a rail network that connects all of these other fucking towns, and you have a lot of people suddenly not wanting to live in the fucking city. Yeah, try to be more tolerant. Skin doesn't matter, education does. Yeah, and we have to educate people. I keep doing this cough, right? Because this cough is just being so irritating, and it won't stop. Like, it just keeps irritating me. So I was joking last night that it was doing my little old me cough. Who's afraid of little old me? You know, Taylor Swift in the concert, when she's going, like, she does the full blown, who's afraid of little old me? Has anyone seen that? Or is that just me? Every time I see it. Oh no! My life just ended on TikTok. That's fine. I know you're not, But I just keep seeing this scene from the Eras tour. I nasal spray. Interesting. My doctor told me to give my kid marshmallows. Let him eat marshmallows to help. And that did help. That stopped him from coughing so that he could sleep. Or I saw a TikTok that said marshmallows and I tried that and it helped so that he could sleep. I haven't slept, so I will happily stand and set off a French machine to solve the potato. Hey, I am not at all, I'm all for that. But as I was saying, she does this dance thing where she's singing and she flips her head, she leans all the way back like this and is like, and that's what I keep doing when I'm coughing. And it does actually help it come out clearer. Like it helps it come out easier. I feel like I'm straining less. Give him a chili. Try it. Throw your head back when you cough. It's catharsis. Oh, I was talking about one billionaire's particular dance move. No, it's not COVID. It might be whooping cough. Seagull mode activated. Who's afraid? Does that sound like a seagull? The dance of the damned. The dance of the damned. She does look like she doesn't have a head when she's doing that dance. It looks like she's already done it for you. She does the whole head gone. Perfectly nailed it. Thank you. Thank you. That's what it is too. It is. It's seagull mode activated. I can't unsee it now that you've said that. Oh my God. Holy shit. Do you have legal weed? I do. I do have legal weed. I do have legal weed. I have prescription medication weed that gets delivered to me in the post. The postman brings me my weed. It's so much nicer than having to go and hiding down at the, what do you call it? The shops at the fucking, that was something exciting that happened. I took a small person out for lunch. Aww. That's so cool. Let's toke. Yes, let's toke. Definitely. I always do. I usually do my bone cone time during a ad break. I usually wait for the ad breaks, as we call our bone cone time, bonus content. Sorry. Okay, so kookaburras are fucking nasty bitches, right? Kookaburras are nasty as fuck. So you do not mess with the fucking kookaburras too, because they're violent. Like kookaburras are fucking, they're the spirits that are generally out to get you. So you do have to be worried with the kookaburras. I was eating, no, you can ask. I was eating a sausage and a kookaburra swooped down and grabbed it out of my hand. And I've actually got a scar on my thumb from where the fucking kookaburra gouged me to get its fucking sausage, to get my sausage out of my hand. Fucking gouged me so fucking hard. Have you ever eaten roo? Yeah. Yeah, of course I've eaten roo. I literally just walked outside to my room. I'm smoking too. This is where all the smokers hang out, guys. Only the cool kind of smokers though. Because we got Belle here, 7 days, no nicotine. Woohoo! Winning! Yeah, I always find this interesting when people find that odd. You can buy, like, I feed my cats roo regularly. I mix roo in with the chicken mince that I give them in their dinner. They eat raw chicken mince and raw roo meat for dinner every night. We get roo burgers. You can buy a roo burger at, like, the local burger chain. Like, roo meat is sold, not, like, Macca's doesn't sell roo meat, but Coles sells roo meat. You know, you won't find it, like not every restaurant is going to have a roux burger, but a lot of like smaller, cooler, like Aussie companies, they'll have a roux burger. They're a pest. Yeah, the bell. The bell with no smoking. Woohoo. Coles, oh yeah, Coles is a supermarket equivalent here. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah, I forget. I'm like, but you can go to Coles. And I was like, what the fuck's Coles? Yeah. Sorry. Aldi? You guys have Aldi internationally. Are there roux farms for meat? There are roux farms, but no, because you can't really farm roux. They can escape way too easily. But they're also a pest. Like, you know what? On the way home this afternoon, when I go to pick the kids up from school, I'll drive past, we call it the roux farm, but there's a big paddock that we always drive past that in the afternoon it's covered in roux laying out, basking in the sun, like just absolutely covered. Cows are less aware than kangaroos? No, definitely not. If I was going to pick which creature I thought was more intelligent out of a kangaroo and a cow, I would say a cow. Honestly. Yeah, it would be so much more ethical for us to Oh yeah, no, I get you're saying you feel. Yeah, I get that, but yeah, no, definitely See, I think the thing is too with like because we have emu farms, you can farm emu meat, and we do have emu farms. I think we're the only nation on the planet where you can eat the national emblems, ethical and sustainable, and we're the only country in the world. And when I was younger, roux tail is a delicacy. So if you ever have any mob, or like if you ever have an auntie or anyone comes in and they bring you the roux tail, never ever 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 turn it down. Never. If someone's giving you a roux tail, that is a massive sign of respect. Huge sign of respect. Oh, you learned this from Dark Emu? What's that? Yeah, emus are fucking cunts, definitely. Kangaroos are really, really dumb. Yeah. They are really dumb. Has anyone ever seen a kangaroo trip over a fence before? Oh, about the kangaroos. Oh, there you go. I was gonna say Bruce Pascoe's got some issues. Not gonna deny it, but yeah, Dark Emu is definitely a stellar work. Yep. And the thing is too is like running, driving around town or driving anywhere, you see piles of them all the fucking time. Yeah, the hooved animals are destroying our landscape. Absolutely, they are. Horses, cows, goats, hooved sheep, hooved animals. It's just not. The Australian landscape just has never. It hasn't evolved for that kind of thing. Roux meat, you want to make sure that you cook it very, very carefully. You do not want to. It's very easy to overcook roux meat. It's very rich, very gamey, and you want to be very careful not to overcook it. The thing I always say to people, and this is going to sound so bizarre, my auntie always used to, you can do either grill or frying pan. Yeah, I've seen them trip over their babies. Oh my gosh, they're so fucking hilarious. Yeah, basically like a steak. My aunties used to rinse them. They used to rinse the roux steaks before cooking them, and they swore by it to rinse out a lot of the more gamey taste. They used to like wash a lot of the blood out of the roux meat before grilling it up, but then you can't cook it for a very, very long time because it dries out really, really quickly. So, and again, it depends if you like the taste or not, because in a burger with like beetroot and caramelized onions and some spinach and like a nice aioli, like a big ready bloody bit of roux meat in there is just delicious. But if you're gonna have it on a plate with veg, it goes well in broth or slow cooker. Yeah, actually, big what do you call it? The slow cooker, the what's it called? Roux stew. Roux stew's a big one. Big one. Because again, slow cooking it helps to take care of, and again, cooking it for a long time in all the other flavors as well. And again, it depends if you really like that gamey flavor or not. I prefer roux to like venison. I think venison tastes a lot more gamey than roux does. I think roux is a nicer flavor than venison, for example. Yeah. I shall stick to my legumes. No worries. I was driving along and I saw a roux ran into the fence. It had the, what do you call it? Paddock. And he like ran into the fence as I was coming along, and I was slowing down because I thought he was going to run out onto the road. So I was going to slow down so I didn't hit him. And he hit the fence, tripped over, went down and got like tangled in it, sat there for a second, jumped up and like shook himself and like was back over the other side of the fence again, and then turned around and started going in the opposite direction. Like he thought he jumped the fence and he was now on the other side of it. And I was like watching him going, you know, you're going back the same way you just came, right? Like you didn't clear that fence. That didn't... I used to get them for the dogs. Yeah. I was going to say, yeah, the cats have it. The cats have chicken mince and roux mince mixed up in their dinner. That's their lunch. But yes, legumes definitely, I think, is probably the rabbits. You just chucked them a rabbit and they were happy. See, I don't think I could just chuck my dogs a whole rabbit even. Ooh. Yeah, that's true. But I guess that's the thing too, is I do all of my food prep in one hit. So I get my chicken and I get my mince and I break it down and like mix it up together and then like freeze them in like week portions for the cats. So I only have to do it once and it's done for like a month and then I just do it again. Ugh. Feeling queasy. Oh! Cut them in half and given 2 halves of a rabbit. I missed bonus content time. I missed my bonus content time again. We were going to do a joint cone and I forgot. Can make tartar. I'm not really a fan of tartar. And you know what? I will say I couldn't be a vegan when I was at home with my parents. Couldn't be a vegan once I had kids. But for that brief window of time when I was only responsible for myself, I was a vegan. And it was great. Like, it taught me a lot about food prep. More in terms of, you don't have to cook every day. You don't have to cook every meal. You can pre-prepare a lot of things that are going to make your life a lot fucking easier down the track. And that has served me very, very well since I've had kids, for sure. For sure. We'll all be eating bugs and algae soon enough. And I am all for the bug and algae diet. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, just give me my protein bar that's perfectly balanced with everything that I need in a day and tastes like the same bland cardboard every fucking day. I don't care. Don't cook for most of the week. Fair enough. Just eat a lot of bananas instead. I am going to do this bonus content though, and then we are going to have to log off for the day. It has been a lovely day with you all. I have really enjoyed this chat. I feel like we haven't done a lot of talk about the budget, but we did enough talk about the budget. I ranted about the budget. We didn't break the whole thing down. I hope no one watches this hoping that we did end up breaking the whole thing down. We had a lovely chat. The person that does those isn't here, but I shall try and remember to pass the suggestion on. Should add the communal bong rip for 420 points. The person that does those isn't here, but I was trying to pass the suggestion on. The person who does that isn't here. How is this? We're just like, oh, the manager who is in charge of that aspect of community guidance isn't actually with us today, but we'll be sure to pass your feedback along. It fucking cracks me the fuck up. We're so fucking funny. Yeah, Emery's not here today. It's Emery's day with their fave person. So well, we should. If you type in allergies, type in ! allergies and see what happens. This is what Emery did for us instead. This is when the screen goes dark and Tamara starts coughing. Hang on, I'm going to type it. Yeah, there you go. Allergies. Didn't work. Why didn't it work? Kim? Why didn't it work? Sad face, yes! Did I do the command wrong? Maybe. Okay, so French is working, it's just allergies aren't working. Okay, well, there was a command called allergies that was working. Ah! Okay, that's true. That's true. But no, you spelt it right. That wasn't the problem. Just trying to remember. What is the command then? Allergy. Not allergies. Allergy. There you go. But today I haven't even had any allergies. I've just been coughing. Ooh, meme in the funny channel. Void memes for void beans. If you are not in the meme, if you are not in the void ration packs for the future, yeah. Bug buffet. Should we stock up? Oh, it took me a couple of seconds to get it. Yeah. We were going to have, after we get to 69 followers, our next follower goal is going to be 420 though. That we've already discussed that one. Australia-made fish food made of ethically sourced bugs. Is it safe for human consumption? Because it might be worth stocking up on some of those. I don't know if you've all seen what's going on in parts of the world right now, but the elites are real big fans of starving us to get us to do what they want. So, grow your own gardens, buy bags of bugs, do what you can to ensure that your basic human needs can't be exploited to get you doing what the corporate elites want you to. Yes, if everyone can follow for free, please, that would be great. That would be great. So yeah, so follow, like, share, subscribe, all those things. Once we get to 69 followers, we're going to change our goal to 420, which, it's another really cool goal because we're just so cool around here. We like playing with our fucking numbers. Every time I see the number 69 too, I'm just like, nice. I know how much weed is surrounding my town, and trust me, if they decide they want us to starve, we're eating bugs. Oh, I follow you on most of your socials now. Oh, thank you. Thanks, guys. I feel so special. I could eat rabbits for eternity and not ever be hungry again. Well, we have plenty of those around. Though, this is the thing I really annoys me about the whole mixie thing, because you can't hunt and eat wild rabbits without risking getting fucking diseases. Or does it not pass? Does mixie not pass to humans? I don't know. I've not ever hunted wild rabbits because of the mixie. Like, again, emu, roo, sure. Wombat, sometimes. You just have to look at the liver. Okay. Yeah, rightio. Make sure they haven't been infected. I had pet rabbits, and unfortunately, yeah, they wild rabbits got in and gave them mixie and they died. It's very sad. Yeah, they're quite obviously not edible when they're sick. Yeah. Yeah. I had this one white rabbit that got mixy, and I managed to like take care of him through a bout of mixy, and he got better, and then he got another bout and killed him. Oh, it killed my rabbits. Well, I mean, again, they're pets. The wild rabbits are all immune. Pets, not so much. Is it chewy? Yeah. Yeah, but I would say all meat is chewy. Again, wombat. Wombat I've had in like slow cook broth style food meal. Wouldn't have really thought it was very particularly any different to trying to think. The important thing is, though, is that you can't eat any of the, like, if it's not your totem, you're allowed to, that's fine. But you can't eat an animal if it is your totem. So, for example, Indigenous people are allowed to eat wombat. They're allowed to hunt certain species that are native and that's naturally been part of their hunting. But, for example, where I am, the country that I live on, you would never hunt snake because it's a totem for the local people. So no one would eat snake around here. But you go over on the East Coast and they'll eat snake. No, nobody's business. Here, they'll eat emu, but you go over to the East Coast, they won't eat emu. So there is also, it does depend a lot on where you are as well. So that just occurred to me. That random thought just occurred to me to share that as well. I don't know why. Deer and horses debate. My biggest shit with the Greens Party today. They haven't got a fucking clue. Oh, I know. Yeah, but don't ever let any Noongar person ever hear you because they will, like, it is a death sentence to eat a snake for Noongar. Literally. There's a local story where I am, literally just up the road from me, where the island where the woman is dead because her husband had to hack her own legs, break her own legs and leave her there for dead because she cooked and ate a snake. So it's very serious. It's very serious. You don't be eating snakes. Yeah, that story doesn't follow here. Yeah. And they are pricks. And again, it's it very much depends on where you are. And like, for example, I'm not allowed koala. Fucking hell. I was like, what the fuck was my people's totem supposed to be again? Koala. So that would be like, if I was to eat a fucking koala, I'm sure everyone would have a go at me though, because koalas are cute and cuddly. But yeah, no, that'd be a fucking, never heard it. Yeah, no, and it's not like a widely shared story. It's the island that's in the bay where there's like a little hill there in the bay, basically jutting up, and it's like that's her final resting place. So it's very, very local to me. I drive past her little final resting place as I pull into my street on my way home. I've got to go get the boys now. Me too. I have to log off now because I've got to go get my children. It's very sad. It's a very sad time to have to be leaving you all. Yeah, well, how about Friday? If you're free Friday, peace out, guys. We'll give it a go. Yes, good luck. I do have to sign off. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for joining us today. We thank you for coming and being in the void with us. We always appreciate all of our voidsters, whether they are you're new or old. Make sure you join the Discord, like, share, subscribe, do all the things I'm supposed to ask you to do to make sure the algorithm doesn't forget that I exist and does all the things that it's supposed to do. No worries. Sorry I wasn't here on Monday. As you can probably hear from the coughing, I'm still not 100%, but yeah, we'll be back Friday nevertheless. My breathing is getting quite laboured now as well, actually. I really have a lovely thingy. Please remember, if you can, to share the GoFundMe, send it to all of your friends, all those annoying group chats, all those people who you never message, send it through to them. you know, it's fine. You can do it. Free Palestine. And yeah, I don't know. What should I say? Like, what should we? I still need to sign out. I know Kim keeps saying I don't need to sign out, but I really feel like I do. You know, I feel like I need to sign out.